Hi, I'm Jim, and today we're going to be looking at the Everlit Emergency Trauma Kit. I'll talk a little bit about who Everlit is. I'll take a look inside, and I'll talk about how I plan to use it and why I bought it. Maybe not necessarily in that order. Now, I picked these up off of Amazon. You can pick them up off of Amazon. You can pick them up off the Everlit website. They are normally $69.95. I purchased them as part of an Amazon Lightning deal for $54.95 back in November. This is something that I had on my wish list. Amazon alerted me, and I jumped right on it. I've got 5 because I'm going to be giving them away to loved ones as a Christmas present. I am not going to be keeping all of these, although I am going to be keeping 2 of them. When this came up at $54.95, I thought it was a steal. As we go through this, you'll see that it has a CAT Gen 7 tourniquet, as well as what is essentially a SAM splint. And if you're building first aid kits yourself, or you've been building a trauma kit, you know that those CAT tourniquets, they run about $30. And the SAM splints run about 15. So even if you get them at a discount for $54.95 for only those 2 items, plus this carrying case. I mean, these carrying cases like this would probably run you $10 to $15 at a surplus store. So right there, it basically pays for itself. So regardless of whatever's in there, it basically has paid for itself. Everlit is a company that was founded by U.S. military veterans, and their objective is really to better prepare folks for what they call avoidable disasters, emergencies, and survival situations. Of these trauma kits, they have 3 main areas that they're concerned with and that these kits are designed to deal with: massive hemorrhage and circulatory care, respiratory and hypothermia treatment, and bone fracture treatment. Let's take a look at what's inside these, and then I'll talk a little bit about what I'm actually going to be using this for. First off, let's talk a little bit about the pack that it comes in. As you can see, it comes in 5 different colors. When I purchased it off of Amazon, I could not purchase multiples in the colors that I wanted because it was a lightning deal, so I had to buy 1 of each individual color. But as you can see, it comes in black, what they call OD green, what they call tan, I would also call it coyote, camo, and then a black camo. Now, personally, I love packs like this. Even if I wasn't building a med kit, I might pick this up just for the pack, because good packs are hard to find, especially ones that have all the features that this has. So let's take a quick look at it. The bag measures 8.5 inches long, 6 inches wide, and 4.5 inches deep. First off, it's got this handle, makes it easy to carry by itself. It's got a strap here to keep everything contained. That strap is part of this MOLLE setup in the back. You can see it's MOLLE compatible. You can attach it to your existing packs if that's what you want to do. Now, this whole thing is Velcro. So you can pull this off if you don't want it. If you're going to keep this in your car and you don't need the MOLLE attachments and everything else, you can just take it like that. If you have a pack that has Velcro on it, or you have, let's say, a wall in your shop or something that you want to just stick this to, you can do that. It's got this little tab here, and as you can see, this top strap is also Velcroed, so that's handy. So even when you don't have this to secure it, you can still secure it shut with this top portion. You can see it's got MOLLE in the front. It's got a first aid patch to quickly identify it as a first aid kit. Comes with a black US flag. You can see it's got wide tabs that are easy to pull with your gloves on. On the bottom, it has a hole, presumably to help drain any kind of fluid. So I guess if you're caught in the rain and this gets drenched, the fluid will drain through the bottom. Okay, let's go ahead and open it. Personally, I love when you get a good med kit and it folds out and everything is easily accessible. Everything is stored in in pockets that make it easy for you to get. You've got some elastic straps here. You can add additional items. You've got elastic straps here, which you can add additional items or move things that are in this pack so that they're more easily viewable. Content-wise, it's got a combat applications tourniquet. This is a Gen 7. Again, if you've seen these on Amazon, they're 30 bucks a piece. It's got a 36-inch splint. I am familiar with SAM splints. If you've seen my videos, you see that sometimes I carry a SAM splint on my backpack. I like to have a bright orange splint, but this is a green one, and again, this is a $15 value. It's got these 7-inch EMT shears, blunted edge, so that you can cut away clothing and fabric quite easily. It's got a pen. Pen has many uses, right? So if you're clearing a building, you can use it to mark doors as you go. If you're treating someone with like a snake bite, you can mark the level of the swelling. If you're in a multi-trauma situation, you can use this to write on somebody's forearm or their arm to give other responders an idea of what their condition might be and to help them triage. Got an Everlit Emergency Compression Bandage. Looks like it's 4 inches, basically for bleeding and hemorrhage control. And it's got instructions on how to use in the back. You can see it's vacuum sealed. We've got Everlit compression gauze, 4.5 inches by 4.1 yards of gauze. Okay, that's for the first main compartment. Let's see what we have here. Got a pair of gloves. We've got some first aid tape. It looks like this is 2.5 centimeters by 5 meters, so roughly 15 feet of first aid tape. So we got an ace bandage here. So it says elastic bandage, 7.5 centimeters by 4.5 meters, so roughly 13.5 feet of ace bandage. And in the other large pouch, we have an emergency blanket. So this looks like your typical Mylar emergency blanket, which these are handy. If you ever have to use these, though, just be aware of the fact that they don't breathe. So when you're when you're in a situation where you're going to be using this thing overnight, keep it away from your body. Allow some air circulation. So we've got 20 pairs of alcohol wipes, so 40 alcohol wipes. That's cool. We've got a 38 inches by 38 inches by 54 inch triangular bandage. So these things are great, especially for arm splints. We've got what they're calling a universal bandage pack. So let's take a look at what's inside there. Antiseptic towelettes, so 2 antiseptic towelettes, 2 2x2 pieces of gauze. Looks like a butterfly bandage. Looks like we've got 2 2.36 by 2.76 bandages, some smaller butterfly dressings, and it looks like we've got 10 3 by 3/4 inch band-aids. And there's still more. Let's make sure I got everything out of here. So we've got a 40 centimeter by 60 centimeter dressing. That's roughly 16 by 24. And we've got the warranty card. The warranty says, "Thank you for shopping with Everlit Global Inc. We are a small business proudly owned by veterans dedicated to provide the most quality, reliable, and comprehensive products to all customers. As promises to stand firmly behind our products, Everlit Global Inc. is offering 60 days hassle-free return free of charge, and 1-year manufacturer's warranty. If you have any questions or concerns about your order, please contact us. We pride ourselves on exemplary services and are always striving to resolve any problems customer may have regarding the product. If you are satisfied with your purchase, please leave your honest review on Amazon.com. We greatly value all feedback and promise to continuously improve our product and services. EverlitSurvival.com. Contact us, info@everlitsurvival.com, for any questions or concerns regarding your order, information about future product releases, bulk purchases, discounts, and etc. One thing that may not have been clearly seen is that this one side of the pack actually has 2 pockets. It's got a lower pocket, and then it's got this larger pocket behind. The larger pocket is secured with a strap. The strap is not elastic. All in all, a pretty cool package. Definitely worth the $54.95 that I paid for it. Again, these things are gold. I absolutely love these packs. They're absolute gold. As is, the cat tourniquet and the SAM splint. Scissors will always come in handy. The compression bandage, again, is something that you don't typically see in an emergency kit. So if you're a follower of the channel, you're probably going to be wondering, what I'm going to be doing with this. Well, 3 of these are going to go to loved ones for them to do, what they wish with it. A trauma kit is something that is great to have in your car because, you get into a car accident, there's a high chance of bleeding. They can do with it what they will, whether it's keeping it in their car, whether it's keeping it for camping trips. It's going to be up to them. As for myself, I initially saved this on Amazon because I was looking to build out a trauma kit for my car. I have since already done that. But again, when this came up, it was such a great deal that, that I jumped on it. One of the things that I want to do for the next season, the next backpacking season, is to refresh my first aid kit. So I've got 2 first aid kits that I use, one specifically for backpacking, which is a little bit more robust, and then one that I use for day hikes. And so what I wanted to do, basically, I'm going to cannibalize one of these and use it in an upgraded backpacking kit. I don't know exactly which items I'm going to take yet. If you've seen my backpacking trips, you may have noticed that sometimes I carry an orange splint like this. So I've already got one of those. Don't need this. I always carry a knife, but having these scissors might be a good thing to have. So what I carry is really going to come down to a number of factors. What's missing in my first aid kits now that I think I need? What situations do I think I might encounter that I'm not prepared for? The overall weight of the items. So something like this would be handy to have. It's sort of big, it's bulky, it's heavy. Do I want to carry that on a day trip? Maybe not, but on an extended backpacking trip where I'm out in the middle of nowhere for several days, yeah, this could be a handy thing to have. If you've seen my backpacking videos, you know that I carry an orange splint, so I'm not going to need to add this to my first aid kit. I always carry a knife or several knives on a backpacking trip, but having a pair of scissors like this that are not going to injure somebody as I'm cutting through their clothing, that might be handy to have. And again, it's going to be a matter of weight. Now, truth be told, I think my long backpacking first aid kit already has these, but I don't carry them on my day hikes. This pens are always really handy to have. And I don't have one in my kit currently. This is probably a good thing to have so I can keep notes. So I can, if something happens to me or happens to somebody else, I can mark on them, I can mark on myself. I don't have to rely on my memory, which as I get older is sort of fading. I don't have to rely on my memory to, tell me what condition somebody was in several hours ago or what I was feeling several hours ago. I can write it down. I don't have to, if I'm supposed to check myself at certain intervals, I don't need to remember that. I can just write down the time that I'm supposed to check myself next, and there you go. Compression bandage. A compression bandage is something that I definitely don't have, not one of this quality. So it is sort of big and bulky, but it might be worth having. Ace bandage. I've always got an ace bandage in my first aid kits. I love these things. Band-aids and gauze. Always something you should have in your first aid kit. What I typically do is I typically go, and I like the Band-Aid brand Band-Aids. They're very high quality, and I typically find, and I'm not talking about this pack specifically, but I typically find in these kits, the Band-Aids tend to be subpar. In the kits that you buy at like REI, you know, the just generic first aid kits, the Band-Aids tend to be subpar. So I always replace them with something else. Gauze, and you know, maybe it doesn't matter so much. I've not had a lot of use with gauze, so I don't know. I'm not an EMT. I'm not a first aid or a medical expert, but I know what I like. Antiseptic towelettes, that'll be handy. Alcohol wipes, those are always handy. I'll swap out the alcohol wipes I have in my pack for some of these, because I'm sure the ones I have in my pack are probably old. So this will be a good to have. This compressed gauze, I will probably add this. I mean, it's compressed, it's airtight. I'll probably swap something in my current first aid kit for this. And again, I've got 2 first aid kits, so I think my long backpacking first aid kit is fairly squared away. But I know my day hike kit, I've pulled stuff out of there. I haven't used it that much. When we were out last summer, Emery needed Band-Aids and such, and I went into my pack and I realized that I didn't have the proper size Band-Aids. So not a big deal, it's just a Band-Aid, but you know, it's something I thought I had and I didn't. Tape, always handy, but I'm sure I've got some in my current pack. Thermal blankets, I do keep one of these in my med kit, and you know, just in case. I don't care for them too much, just because I've had issues with condensation, as I mentioned earlier. But if used properly, you know, these can be very handy. The triangular bandage is something I don't have in either one of my kits. It is something that I've come to appreciate in the work that I've done with CERT. I will probably add the triangular bandage to my long backpacking first aid kit. And then we've got this dressing. I'll see what I have in my kits now. This is fairly large dressing, and I'm guessing that my kits now don't have dressing of this size. So I'll just pull out, you know, a bunch of the gauze that I have, and I'll replace it with this. It'll probably be a fairly even swap. And then I'll have this pack left over to do with whatever I want. And again, I love these things. These have so many uses outside of first aid. I mean, as a first aid pack, you know, this is great because again, it folds open and you can easily see things. But you know, I can use it for so many other things. You know, there's, you know, for fishing, for just loads of stuff. So I'm really excited to have one of these that I can just, you know, use for anything. So that's it. That's my presentation of the Everlit Emergency Trauma Kit. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Oh, and it has dawned on me that maybe it's Everlight without an E, but you know what they say, a rose by any other name.